And the world's largest technology show is now in full swing in Las Vegas. The Consumer Electronics Show brings together some of the biggest players in the industry to showcase what they have in store now and in the future. And smart technology is emerging as one of the biggest trends at the conference. Mark New is live from Las Vegas at the Convention Center with the very latest. Mark, another exciting day. What's going on there today?
That's right, Michelle. This is a show where the titans of technology like Cisco, Qualcomm, and Intel all reveal underlying technologies that have a chance to revolutionize the industry. But along with these technologies, we're seeing increasing numbers of smaller players and also startups that are actually using these components because they're much cheaper and also smaller. Now, while there are many imaginative ideas coming out of these products, many of them will undoubtedly be misses, but it's those few small, big hits that makes this show all the worthwhile.
Okay.
Around every corner, everyday objects are getting smarter. Some more than others, like this rice cooker, which can be turned on by an app when you're on your way home. Chang Hong from Sichuan Province, China, is also showing off this air conditioner, which can sense who's standing in front of it and automatically adjust the temperature to that person's preference. Put a fish in this refrigerator, and days later it will warn you by voice or text when it's starting to go bad. There's more.
Camera, 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 camera. So that when you're at the grocery store, if you can't remember how many tomatoes you had and you want to make sure you have enough to make pasta or something, you can look inside the fridge using your mobile app, and you won't waste money and you won't waste time.
I would say that in the near future, we're not even going to have the term smart device because everything will be smart, everything will be connected.
This smart device from French startup Sense, or otherwise known as Mother, is truly out to nurture. Through adhesive sensors called motion cookies, Mother can track at least 15 activities, from the motion of a pillbox, whether you've taken your medicine, or from the movement of cookies in your bed, whether you're sleeping enough.
It knows when you get into your bed, how long you've been in your bed, if you were sleeping or not, depending on how long you have spent not moving at all.
But with all this talk about micromanaging your life and optimizing your body through smart technology, sometimes you want to just use it to have fun. That's where the company Sphero comes in here. All I have to do is pick up a smartphone, and I control this little smart robot called Tubi. It is as agile as any remote control car.
These Ozobots also aren't here to educate, but rather to race for the heck of it. So amidst all the smartness at CES, a few tech companies are still making sure their products add a little fun and color to everyday life.
And one of the major companies behind this transformation, which is called the Internet of Things, is Intel. And I am joined right now by a guest. He is the evangelist for Intel, Mr. Danny Cristofano. First of all, he's got some devices here with us that you'd like to show us. We've got a laptop right here. Is this an ordinary laptop?
Well, Mark, first let me say thanks for having me on the show. You know, we're excited to be at the show. We're talking about immersing folks in technology and computing in much more natural, immersive ways. And so, you know, yesterday's laptop is today's two-in-one. And that's really what we're talking about when it comes to the traditional PC, if you will. A laptop when you need it, but a tablet when you want it. And this is a great example.
There are a lot of convertibles out there, you know, there are 4-in-1s, 2-in-1s. What makes this something special?
Well, this Asus Transformer Duet is special because not only does it transform from a hardware perspective, but it also transforms from an operating system perspective. This is actually a dual OS system, meaning I can run both Windows and Android on the same machine. Are
there any other computers that can do this?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Intel-powered.
This is the first one.
Exactly.
Okay. And how long does it take to switch between operating systems?
It takes just a few seconds. In fact, I can show you right now. It's just a simple touch of the icon on the screen, and we'll move from Windows, and we get over here, from Windows to Android, and again, just a couple of seconds, it makes the transition. And this is good, you know, not just in terms of transforming our hardware, but our experience is a lot of consumers have Android-based smartphones, and so they're used to that operating system, especially when they're doing consumption and that type of content, entertainment content, gaming, etc. So it's a familiar operating system for them. But you know, we work, and a lot of us work in a Windows environment at work, and so to be productive in the laptop, form factor with Windows, and then
this can also transform to other ways.
That's right, and so we've got the Android up here, right?
System,
and
sure.
I could make a quick switch back by hitting the button, but yeah, this is the detachable, right? So detachable 2-in-1. Don't want to tilt too much there, but again, tablet when you need it, or tablet when you want it, laptop when you need it.
And you feel this is the right recipe and size, and there have been many experiments with convertibles as to what the right screen ratio and everything should be, but you feel this is the right form factor?
Well, I think the form factor, it's really about choice. Some consumers prefer something that swivels. Some consumers prefer something that flips. Some like a smaller form factor. Some want more performance, and typically you're going to find more performance in a bigger form factor.
Okay, you've got something even more exciting here. Please show us. This is a smart onesie, or what do we call this?
Well, yeah, so let me talk to you first about the technology from Intel. Back in September of last year, we talked about a new technology from Intel called Intel Quark technology, and specifically we launched the Intel Quark SoC, specifically designed for new Internet of Things devices, and targeting everybody from inventors and product designers and developers to makers and students.
So how does this chip transform to being in this onesie?
Exactly. So what we also talked about this week was this new product called Intel Addison. This is actually a computer on an SD card form factor. It features the Intel Quark SoC, a new dual-core Intel Quark SoC. It's actually developed on our new 22 nanometer process node. It runs at 400 megahertz, so roughly the performance of a PC about a decade ago in a small form factor. And it's got integrated Wi-Fi communications and other I/O, including sensor I/O, and it powers devices like we see here.
And so this is just an example what Intel powers this, but what could something like this do? How can this help us?
Yeah, this is great. So this is a onesie called the Mimo Baby onesie, and what we see here is on this onesie we have capacitive ink, which is essentially relaying the sensor information. We're looking at respiration. We're looking at heart rate, even temperature.
So you can monitor that through an app?
And monitor it through an app. And so you can imagine, you see the little turtle here. This is magnetically attached. It comes off of the onesie. Inside the turtle is the Intel Addison computer. And so Addison is receiving the information from the sensors, compiling it, sending it to other smart devices, including an app on a smartphone, which would show me all of that detailed data.
You've got some other devices here. How do they play? The bottle and the cup. How does it figure?
This is the great opportunity of something like Addison. And you talked about size and cost, right? So it's not just necessarily an app, a smartphone app or a tablet app that you're going to push data to. You can actually push data to other newly intelligent devices like this coffee cup we're showing here.
So we got some lights here. It lights up here. So what does this indicate?
So green. I'm enjoying my cup of coffee, and so long as the lights are green and it's showing sort of the respiration data, and a happy face tells me that my child's resting peacefully, and all of that data that we're looking after is good, I can enjoy that cup of coffee. If something were to go out of my preset boundary conditions, respiration goes up, heart rate goes up, activity goes up, these LEDs would change colors to red, letting me know that the baby's waking up or the baby's upset and I should go check on the baby. Likewise,
I can see a lot of uses for this. Thank you very much, Danny Cristofano, for joining us. Intel powering something that I guess the world has never seen before. Michelle, I'm sure a lot of people back at CCTV could use this. I'm beyond this a little bit. My kids are older, but I think this would be a great use for many people. Michelle.
Absolutely. It can help people decipher exactly what the baby's crying about. I know we can get one for Phil. He has a relatively newborn girl, so he'd probably appreciate that baby monitor. Now, Mark, other than the whole biometrics monitoring wearable tech, one of the other big trends at the show is 3D printing, and that's generating a lot of interest. And we heard today that MakerBot, the 3D printing company, has unveiled the iTunes of 3D printing as part of its new lineup. So tell us about that. How is that going to be a big game changer now?
That's right. I just visited the booth, and in many ways this is declaring war on the toy industry. What you can do is purchase for about $1.99 for some of the toys. You purchase that digital file, and if you have the MakerBot printer, you can print out that file and print toys. Most toys maybe about this big take about an hour or two, but you can print it as many times as you want. It's a small monochrome plastic toy. That probably has toy companies shuttering, but right now I saw the actual toys and they're pretty basic, they're not too complicated. So, I see it more right now at the moment as being more as a prototype or something, a very simple toy for younger kids. But there's still a long ways to go before you can advance to the, really complicated toys. But as we've seen, the 3D printing field has changed so fast. They even have a 3D printing entire tech zone. There must have been 20, 30 companies printing everything from toys to chocolate, which I did try, and I'll tell you my experience on that later in the week. Michelle.
We look forward to that, Mark. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Have fun out there, and we can't wait to see what you come up with for tomorrow.